Okay, so welcome. Hi, hello, happy Tuesday, happy July. I wanted to talk about the energies of summer and different seasonal shifts that we can make to support us physically and emotionally and mentally and spiritually and energetically, to really allow us to get the most out of the season. Each season has its own particular offering, its own particular flavor of medicine for us. And when we shift as Mama Earth and Mama Nature shift, we can really deepen into those invitations and get the most out of the season. Hey, Emily, welcome. Thank you for being here. So, thank you. Yes, summer flowers. I loved it too. So the energetics of each season change as each season shifts, and it's imperative that we also shift and change some of our practices as well. So each season represents a different spoke, a different area on the wheel of the year. And I also liken them to different moon phases and different parts of our breath cycle. So really just these different kind of metaphorical ways of embodying those different energies and feeling how it shifts and changes in us as everything outside of us shifts and changes, right? As above, so below, as within, so without, vice versa. Like it's all connected. So think of summer as the full moon. And as the fullest part of a breath, when you've inhaled completely, it's that space between your next exhale. So you've inhaled, you're full, you're just like totally expanded, totally full. And same thing like the new moon, it's that time, it's a peak. It is kind of an apex season. Whereas like waning and waxing cycles or spaces between the full exhale and the full inhale are also transitional periods as well. So summer, like its counterpart winter, is this destination, if you will. It's not so much a transitional point like the space between breaths or waning and waxing cycles or like fall and spring. It is a place to get to. It's a destination. And unlike winter where everything is kind of, I don't like saying dead, it's in this dormancy, this really potent thing is about to come back to life. Summer is like, nah, baby, we live. Like we're here and just full bloom, full expression. So fall in this analogy would be the waning cycle and that exhale. Winter is the new moon and the space between the exhale and the next inhale. Spring is the waning moon and the inhale itself, right? We're like really ramping up, inhale, waxing, boom, summer. So that's where we are right now. And breathing feels good. So it's that fullest, just everything is full and juicy and full of life and really blooming and expanding. So it's a time for showing up. It's a time for full expression in whatever that means to you. And when I say that, you'll have some type of little flicker, some type of little inclination as to what that might be for you. And so follow that flicker. Don't ignore it. It might show up as like resistance or as like full expression. What does that even mean? Follow that thread, because that's the invitation of right now, and you're fully supported to do that. So showing up, massive mental energy, a lot of mental energy, a lot of clarity, a lot of shifts, a lot of growth. And that growth will start to go shift inward as we kind of begin to wane. Like right now we're in that peak of summer. Like summer is here, she's in full force. And a lot of when we look outside, the produce and the herbs, my herb garden and the flowers are still soaking in and kind of pumping out the juiciness of spring. So spring was the ramp up, and now it's like, here are the gifts. So massive mental clarity, as well as still some physical growth. So like I said, look at your garden, and maybe you're noticing your hair and your nails. Are any of you noticing that? They tend to grow faster this time of year as well. And even, kids, when they're on summer break and they go back to school, there's that thing, oh, you look like you've grown a whole 6 inches over summer break. Well, that's when that growth is happening. So it's not your imagination. And energetically right now, as I started to share too, what are you expressing right now? What wants to be shown or told or shared or offered? I know a lot of people in my tribe are also entrepreneurs and conscious entrepreneurs and light workers and doing so many amazing things in the world. And so what is longing to be shown, to be told, to be shared, to be expressed? And what gifts are you ready to unleash? What are you feeling into? Because like I said, this is just potent light and clarity, and it's kind of like, think about, heat. It is all consuming. So that peak heat is all consuming. There's no place to hide. It's like being fully penetrated. So the depths of everything are just like illuminated. So use that to like, okay, what is wanting to come? What is wanting to come through? Because it's supported. It's almost effortless right now because there's that natural expression and growth and blooming that is occurring. So hop on that train, hop on that momentum, and then you will feel sort of that wane into late summer and early fall as we begin to shift focus. So food, digestion, which is like everything. You can eat, the healthiest things in the entire world, and if you're not digesting them, then it's not doing you much good. So working with how the body changes, and just like how she changes, Mama Earth, we are as well. So digestion right now is actually at its weakest. And think about it. It's a fiery process. And during this time of just this heat everywhere, the body is actually working to cool you down and remove heat from the body. So your digestive fire is weaker. And overburdening your digestive system now actually leads to those nasty fall colds or allergies or whatever other physical ailments that you might suffer or your clients might suffer with. That's the result of unprocessed kind of sludgy sludge that hasn't been fully worked with because the fire was too low. Not necessarily too low, it's just low. It's how it is in summer. So in the wintertime, it's actually much more robust, and that's when we can get away with the heavier things. And it's kind of funny how we have turned to, summer fare, we think of like hot dogs and corn dogs and barbecues and like heavy foods, and they're not necessarily the most supportive thing for the body during this time. Those things can be really much more supportive, enjoyed, and digested fully in the summer, in the fall and winter. That's more of a building time. Summer is kind of a holding time. So we're holding on to what we got and nurturing from there. And when we look at what's in season, which a lot of us have kind of lost touch with, we really can't go wrong. Things are in season for a reason. Always. Always. I mean, we are so linked and connected to the earth and the changes in our bodies, and we are given exactly what's needed to support us for every season at any given time. So we literally cannot go wrong. And if maybe you live in more of an urban place, or your clients live in more urban places, and they're like, I don't know what the hell's in season. Like, I look around and there's concrete. Like, I don't know. There are fabulous resources. I believe it's actually what'sinseason.org. And if that's not it, you can Google it, it'll pop up. And it tells you what would be or what is in season in your area. And that can kind of just start to clue you into like, okay, these are the things that are meant to support me on, you know, a tissue level, on a structural level, a physiological level, as well as kind of the psycho-emotional, energetic level as well, because each season has its own medicine that it brings. And so nurturing all levels to get the most out of that keeps us in alignment and keeps us in rhythm and keeps us operating most optimally. Because when we go against that knowingly, or just, you know, it's 2018, you live in an urban place, it's really difficult to stay in touch. So whatever the reason is, when we lose touch with that, that's when the dis-ease sets in on all levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. So it takes a lot more energy to resist and go against than it does to just simply like, all right, let me feel into this, like what's needed, or let me do a little research if I can't just, you know, go to a farmer's market or whatever it is. So there's always options. There are always ways to tune into that. Hey, Lauren, thank you for being here. So when we look at what's in season right now, there are lots of watery foods and fruits. And so these are simple to digest and they're quick hits of energy to support us. So we still need the energy. We still need, you know, the glucose, especially at this time, because it's simple to digest. And so these things offer them quickly and simply and in a way that the body can utilize very efficiently, unlike some of the harder to digest things that we will see again in fall and winter when our digestive system is more fiery. So watermelons, stone fruits, cucumbers, summer squashes, zucchinis, those kind of lighter, leafier salad greens, perfect. All of these things. Creating your own Gatorade or Powerade, and, you know, I don't want to sound judgy, but I would encourage you to refrain from putting those things into your sacred body. There are other ways, other things to do to support you. A famous thing in our house is to do some coconut water, which has more electrolytes naturally occurring, mind you, than like any other substance on the planet. So some coconut water with some citrus of your choice. We like grapefruit. You can do orange, lemon, lime. You can mix, and then maybe some sparkly mineral water on top to fizz it up if that tickles your fancy. And it's delicious. And nature's energy drink, yes, and sports drink. So it's beautiful. Herbs to support you right now: peppermint, basil, cilantro, dill, tarragon. They're all delicious and incredibly cooling. And they also are very supportive to the digestive system. So fabulous. And they're all in season. Yeah, so we see this just like beautiful orchestration of intelligence. Orchestration? Did I just make up a word? I like it. I'm going to roll with that. Orchestration of cosmic intelligence to support our bodies. Hibiscus. Beautiful. Very cooling. You can make a hibiscus iced tea, put a little mint in it, golden. Lastly, some movement suggestions. So the body's also at its weakest because digestion's at its weakest. So we're not able to fully digest the harder stuff, the heavier stuff. And so we're turning to the lighter things. That's kind of what's here. Not to mention, especially if you live, you know, in most places in the middle of the country, it's hot. So the body is weaker naturally right now. And especially when that peak heat really sets in, again, depending on where you live, it's kind of like August-ish. I know for here it is. So while it's imperative that a human body moves every single day, and no, that does not mean like get to CrossFit and all this other stuff every day and like go hard. No, it means like, you know, you're a human body and he or she needs to move daily. It's just part of the maintenance that we signed up for when we came down here. So while that's the case, be considerate and use care in the summertime. Avoid strenuous activities pretty much I mean, feel into it. Never take anything I say or anything that anyone else ever says as like, you know, oh, I heard somebody say this and so it's just gospel. Like, no, you feel into your body. You know your body and your own experience better than anybody else. So, yeah, seek to move at earlier times in the day. Hey, babe, can you get him out of here? That door's about to open. Thank you. Winslow's about to go crazy. Say hello to everybody. So, what was I saying? Yeah, focus on moving at earlier times of the day when it's not as hot, staying indoors, things like that. Be smart about it. However, to like shift it seasonally with the invitation and the energetics of the season, focus on things that really bring a sense of stability and grounding and embodiment. Because this is a time when there is so much mental energy and mental activity and massive shifts and clarity and growth, we could miss that. Miss all of those things if we are not like really super embodied. And a lot of these more higher impact and strenuous things tend to do the opposite for a lot of people. Again, feel into your experience, but they can tend to be a little more like bringing you up here versus down here, if that makes sense. And I think it might. If you follow me, you speak Devon, I resonate with you, and we all good. So, hey Renee, thank you for being here. So things like some Kundalini yoga, Vinyasa yoga, Yin yoga, things that are really here and more slower, gentler, walking, fabulous. And seriously, the most underrated form of movement. I like saying movement over exercise because I feel like exercise has received such a negative thing and a lot of people carry around a negative connotation. So movement, I love. So yeah, walking, lower weight, higher rep strength activities, and a lot of stability and therapeutic work with bands and foam rollers and lacrosse balls, different things like that. Kind of structural and, you know, tissue and tendon and ligament supportive movements. Beautiful. This really gets you into the body and allows he or she to be the receiver and the translator of the insights and the clarity and the shifts that are available right now. And I know I said that was last, but one more thing from kind of a lifestyle perspective. So if you missed the beginning of the video, go back. This one is short today and it's so juicy. I was talking about the different invitations of each season and kind of different metaphorical and energetic correspondences with each season. And I was using moon phases and the breath cycle and how each of those four main moon phases and the 4 seasons and the 4 phases of our breath cycle help us to deepen in and understand, like, okay, the energetic and metaphorical correspondences and invitations and how do I embody that and how do I experience it in my body. So with summertime, expression, outwardness, it is a time for like super socialization and outward and adventures and new things and shaking up things and trying new things and kind of doing a little bit more than you might typically, because it's supported. That's not an excuse if you're someone that's like, oh sweet, I can go run myself into the ground and exhaust myself. No. However, if you tend to be kind of a more empathic and sensitive person, this is a supportive time for that. And it always cracks me up, like in wintertime, how we force ourselves to like do all the holiday parties and go here and go there and travel, and you know, that's beautiful. And being with family and loved ones during those sacred times is so special. But it's like energetically, the invitation during winter is so much more introspective. And that's why so many people, you know, get so sick, and the colds and the flus. It's, you know, yes, you're around more people and exposed to different petri dishes than the one that you may just, you know, live in your little neck of the woods. And it's also because you're less resilient, because we are going against the invitation of the time, and also not supporting ourselves and suppressing our immune system with the extra sugar and all these things. We'll talk more about that when winter rolls around. So in summertime, when we're supporting ourselves physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, and have that resilience, as well as just the extra solar goodness and radiance and health and vitality and all of this, we are much stronger to be able to do more adventures and more socializing and more outward expressions. So that definitely shows up in all places. And I also talked in the beginning, I know a lot of my people are also conscious entrepreneurs and light workers and kind of budding and expressing and offering things out into the world. So now is really that time. Feel in and listen, like what wants to be expressed. So yeah, share with me. There's still a couple of you on here. Thank you. If you are noticing anything or have any questions or are experiencing any challenges in shifting and adapting, hit me up. I would love to hear it. And I'll give you a few moments to type that. And if you catch the replay, drop a comment and I will reply to you. And I think that's it. So I'll give you just a few more seconds. This is a beautiful piece of rose quartz that I found while walking around my land, or the land that I steward. It's not mine. Pocahontas taught us that. I sing that song all the time, Colors of the Wind. Yeah. And it was actually perfect. I was having kind of one of those funky days, and some of those old voices of doubt and, those crappy gremlins were talking to me. And I just went out and talked to my trees, and I found this little piece of rose quartz. And she's all about the heart and love and self-love especially. So thank you. I hear you, universe. Renee, you're feeling very low energy lately. Yeah, I have been too. And I think, yes, the sun and heat drain me, right? And I've actually been feeling that too the last week. Like I just went to sleep. And I realized it's because there is that fine line. While we are supported and there is so much more energy available to us, if you're the type of person that will kind of take that and run with it and maybe push past some boundaries or some symptoms or some messages from your body or from within, it can be a little draining. And I definitely have that tendency. And so that is always part of summer's medicine for me, is to honor my very sensitive system and to work with her in very conscious and strategic and loving ways. So yeah, I imagine perhaps, and I don't want to speak for you, perhaps there was maybe a little bit of that led to some of the low energy. And so really nourishing, like I said, with the seasonal stuff, getting enough of the natural electrolytes and juiciness from all of the really amazing seasonal stuff. And try that if you like coconut water. Try that sports drink, nature sports drink that I suggested earlier in the video. I don't know if you caught it or not. It was a mix of coconut water and whatever citrus you like. So orange, grapefruit, lemon, lime, all of the above, one of the above, play with it. And then maybe a little sparkly mineral water if that floats your boat, and it's perfect. Stay away from the other stuff. So yes. Okay, my dears, thank you. I'll see you next Tuesday. I'm gonna be doing this. I got an amazing lineup of topics for the month of July. And yeah, the course is going so well. If there's some of you that are in it, that are watching, we're having a blast. I'm gonna run it again in a few months, the 7 Pieces of True Healing course. So enjoy the rest of your week. Happy 4th of July. And yeah, feel into what's being asked of you right now. What's being asked of you as in this time? What's the medicine that you need, and how can you best honor that and support yourself, because the medicine I need might be different than the medicine somebody else may needs, and that's the beauty of it all. And then we get to share from our challenges that we alchemize into gifts and purpose. So Renee, I'll be curious to see how your energy levels start to feel, and I am going to honor myself and not push past needs, and we're gonna have a fabulous summer. So there, love you all.